January has actually gone really fast for me this year. I mean, I don't know about you, but where has it gone? I feel like usually January is quite slow, but for some reason, the days have just disappeared this month. This is Saf. She's come to join me for moral support. This particular week has actually been a bit of a difficult one, especially for my family and I. We lost someone this week, so just been sort of dealing with all of that. And yeah, just trying to get things sorted. Still trying to do our best as a family for everyone, and yeah, just trying to pull through really. So all of my schedule has completely gone out the window. So it was definitely time for a Sunday reset. Oh, hello. You know, on top of all of that, being a type 1 diabetic means that emotions and stress and all that kind of stuff can actually have quite a big impact on my blood sugar levels. And funnily enough, at first, I didn't think it was having any kind of impact because my blood sugars weren't running high. I was actually doing quite well. It was only until the other day when I said to my boyfriend, oh, maybe I'm just not diabetic anymore. Because I was eating things and it just was barely even having an impact on my levels. And I genuinely couldn't believe it. I thought, am I cured? Like, what is happening? And then, of course, eventually it starts to shoot up and everything. But it was really strange. And I was thinking, how comes I suddenly don't need as much insulin anymore? And yeah, I think it could be to do with the fact that there was a lot of stress and emotion going on in my life that it actually was bringing it down. So maybe if I hadn't have eaten at those times, I might actually have had more lows than expected. So yeah, it's always a difficult one trying to sort of work out what is impacting your blood sugar levels as a type 1 diabetic. To be fair, I have had a decent week when it comes to my blood sugar levels. Not perfect, obviously, that basically doesn't exist for us, does it? But yeah, it's been not too bad. Let's see how my breakfast has actually impacted on my levels. So I still appear to be in range. I haven't even spiked out of range. Obviously, you can see that I did lose a little bit of signal. Very annoying, happens very regularly. For me, I feel like 2025 was a little bit of a coastal year for me. Like, I just didn't really do that much. Obviously, everyday life is always a lot. I feel like creatively, I just wasn't sort of going for it as much as I perhaps wanted to. So hopefully this is the start of that. 2026 for me, hopefully lots of big plans, really focusing on how I want this flat to look. I feel like we've made quite a lot of progress actually in this place since we've been here. We've been here for almost a year now. We are renting, so we can't go crazy. There's only so much that we can do. And hopefully I'll be able to keep you guys updated with how that is going. Those are like my top things for this year. I actually made myself a footstool the other day. Literally the first time I've ever done anything like it, like upholstery and all of that. But for my first attempt, I'm quite impressed. I think I did all right. So hopefully you like it too. And yeah, hopefully you enjoy more of this content from me. So I've just finished my workout for the day and my blood sugar levels are actually pretty stable, which is really good. I was around 7 before I started, and as you can see, I'm still in the sort of 7 mark. So that's pretty good. I'm quite happy with that. But this is all thanks to the preparation that I did before I started. Now, you might be thinking, what kind of preparation? Because I guess for most people, they just kind of go to the gym, they don't really think about it, or, you know, the biggest thing they have to think about is what kind of workout they're going to be doing and maybe what they're going to be wearing. But for type 1 diabetics like me, there is so much more to it. I'm actually going to walk you through exactly what I did and how I was basically able to keep those stable blood sugar levels. So like I said, I checked my levels before I started and I was 7 then. So that's a pretty good sort of benchmark to start at. You don't want to be too low that, you know, as soon as you start working out, your blood sugar levels are in sort of a dangerous zone. But I also didn't want to be too high, because sometimes doing exercise can actually make it go higher if it's already in a high state. So that's another confusing thing for another day. The other thing I did was I set my insulin pod pump into an activity mode. And this basically just lowers the amount of insulin that I'm getting during those hours that I set it for, because my insulin pod sort of gives me insulin throughout the day. During the time that I set an activity, it means that I'll be getting less during that time. So the likelihood of actually going low is also reduced. And this thing that I showed you earlier is actually called a PDM. It's known as a, what is it, personal diabetes manager. And I basically use this device to do pretty much everything. It allows me to adjust the amount of insulin that I'm getting. It also lets me take insulin for food that I'm eating, but it also connects to a blood sugar sensor, so it sort of knows what my levels are and can actually auto adjust at times as well. And the other thing I also did in terms of preparation was making sure I had some easy access sugar to hand if I needed it during the exercise. I could have very easily gone low while I was working out, and then just having that to hand could have been really helpful. These pretty much are my favourite thing for a low blood sugar. Not just because it's Coke and it tastes nice, but because I find that drinking something during a low blood sugar is much easier than eating something. Yeah, it's just the perfect size. It's just the right amount for what I need. So I had that to hand, but thankfully I didn't need it this time.